we filled out the wrong paperwork. And so I'm like fuming at this point. I'm like, I wasted all that time. I wasted my doctor's time. Obviously my time was wasted. And so basically you're like, yeah, no, this isn't gonna work. Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Dominique if you are new here. If you aren't subscribed, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Today's video is going to be on overseas suitability screening. A few videos back I posted that me and my family are going to move over to Japan, and it is a military move. Therefore, since it is a military move, there are certain requirements that the family, the dependents, have to meet in order to be approved to go overseas. And what they call this is the overseas suitability screening. And basically what happens is you go to your primary physician. Mine is a civilian doctor. So you go to your primary physician and you get a head-to-toe healthcare screening. For me, I did have to take like a lot of blood work, and so my doctor gives me the physical. For women, you do have to have like a current pap smear within like the last 3 years, and obviously the physical needs to take place within like the last year. And for my son, he didn't have to have a physical, or not a physical, he did have a physical. He didn't have to get blood work done, which was awesome. That made his side go a little bit faster. But anyways, then your primary physician has to fill out all of this paperwork and give it to you, and then you have to give it to a military physician at your designated place to go be seen. And there was a huge hiccup with that because obviously like my husband's only basis of what we need as dependents to get filled out is going to be through his command, and they told him where to get the paperwork online. Some website had all the forms. Well, he printed out the wrong forms, and so we had basically had our screenings done, we thought, and I would say there was probably like 6 or 7 pieces of paper that needed to be filled out from like my doctor and our dentist. And so we got that all filled out. Come to find out, when we went to the military physician at a military clinic, we filled out the wrong paperwork. And so I'm like fuming at this point. I'm like, I wasted all that time. I wasted my doctor's time. Obviously my time was wasted. And so basically you're like, yeah, no, this isn't gonna work. They give us the correct documentation. So that's a tip right there. If you are planning on moving overseas, don't go based off necessarily what the command says for your dependents to do. Go to the actual facility that you will need to get approval from and ask them what you need, because they gave us a thick packet, very thick packet, versus our 6 to 7 pieces of paper that my husband printed off online that was not accurate. They gave us a pretty thick packet to have filled out. She kind of walked us through what we would need, telling me all the things that they need printed off, and so that was nice. And then also for my son, there was a section in the back that had to do with his school. So his school also had to fill out paperwork for him. And I think that was just based on like, is he in any additional programs, or does he have any like learning curves or behavioral issues? And luckily he doesn't, so that was good. That was very simple for him. And so I bring this packet back to my doctor's office, and they don't necessarily like know exactly what to do. They're pretty much like, okay, thank you for the packet. We'll call you with, you know, what you need to have done. And that's when I found out that I had to get blood work done and all that stuff. And it was a long process. Like between me, oh, I also needed a hearing test. So I had to get a hearing test done. And for me, back in the day when I was a kid, I had ear tubes. So I kind of know like my hearing is a tad bit of an issue. And with my hearing test, she referred me to an ENT, ear, nose, throat doctor. And that took more time. Obviously, they're backed up, and I have to set an appointment up with him. And so basically that delays everything. So yeah, seeing the ENT delayed everything, and then come to find out that although my hearing was the same, I did have some slight issues when they stuck this like meter thing in my ear, and she said the frequencies weren't up to par, so I had to go see the ENT doctor. And he pretty much was like, I see some scarring in your ear from ear tubes, but other than that, if you can hear and you don't see a difference between each ear, like, you're fine. So I end up being like, literally, I walked in, talked to him for a minute, and he was like, bye, you're fine. And so after that was finally complete, we took the whole packet and I brought it over to the clinic that we were supposed to go, the military clinic. And my son had everything that he needed, but for me, although they printed off all my blood work, they printed off so many things, it was a specific 2-page piece of paper that they needed that was like my head to toe healthcare screening. So I ended up having to go back to my doctor, and then my husband went back to the military clinic to give them the documentation. And that's another thing too, like, this military clinic that we went to, they do not accept appointments if it is like your first time going to submit paperwork. So basically what they do is you go there during their open hours, and they review your paperwork. You sign up and then you wait, and then they call you up and they review your paperwork and just make sure you have everything that they need there, and then you get to make an appointment. So again, all these things take time, and it was like really frustrating, but at the end of the day, we did get an appointment for like the next week. So that leads me to last week when we went to our overseas suitability screening appointment, and it didn't go exactly how I thought it was going to go. I think that I'm in good health. I think that my son is in good health, and he was approved right on the spot. He didn't have any issues. Now me, on the other hand, I have exercise-induced asthma. I didn't think it was a big deal. It's just like a little inhaler, whatever. It's only when I work out that I need to use the inhaler. And that's when I find out that the base that we're going to, they need to be notified that I have asthma, and they need to make the deciding factor if I should be able to go or not go over to Japan. So, another delay. We want to move out of the place that we're in right now earlier rather than later, so that we can start saving up some money, because what I've been told is that sometimes when you move overseas, the military does not pay for everything up front. So there might be like hotel stays or just like little things that you'll actually have to put on your credit or debit card. And if that's the case, I just want to make sure financially we are prepared and we are able to absorb these costs until we are able to be essentially like reimbursed. And so we want to move out of the apartment that we are in right now. Well, that's another thing. They will pay for the move for us to move out and ship all of our stuff to Japan only if we are approved medically. So when you go on the website to request a move, a military move, within 6 days you have to go into an office and show them that your dependents are approved. And I am on hold. So this is the piece of paper. This is the piece of paper that I was given. I'm not going to show it all because I think there's some information that really doesn't need to be out there on the internet. So that is what it looks like. And pretty much it just says OSS pending status. That's the status that I'm in because I have exercise-induced asthma. And it says your screening is on hold because a message needs to be sent to your gaining medical command on whether or not they can accommodate you. Process. Initial message sent to your gaining medical command. Turnaround time is 7 to 10 business days. But wait, if you're going to Japan, Bahrain, Europe, it may take 3 to 4 weeks. If you do not receive a notification within 10 business days from the date your initial message was sent, please notify OSS by giving us a call or sending us an email, and we will rectify the issue. Well, the 10 business days doesn't apply to me what applies to me is the 3 to 4 weeks. So because of this, we can't even turn in our 30-day notice because I don't know if they're gonna, even if I don't know if I'm approved or not to go overseas. So it is what it is. But I was like super stressed and saddened by the appointment last week, and it's kind of like, I don't know, I just needed to calm down off of that, because obviously everything starts popping in my head. What happens if we don't go? What happens if I'm not medically cleared? Like, does that mean he gets new orders? Does that mean he still has to go? So I was pretty much freaking out, and I still kind of am, but I have settled down a bit, and it's only been a week. So I have what, like 2 to 3 more weeks to wait to find out if I am medically cleared or not to go overseas. But I did want to put this video out just in case it helps someone else with this PCS process overseas. It's very stressful, and if I'm able to help in any way, that is a good thing, and that is exactly why I am putting this video out. I will definitely keep you guys posted on if I'm approved or denied. Cross my fingers that I don't get denied and we all get to go overseas to Japan smoothly. But yes, I'll continue to post videos on our experience with this, and hopefully it can help anyone else out there that's going through the same thing. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions, leave them down below in the comments section, and please subscribe. Bye.